Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Bargain Bin, a show about speedrunning games all under $20. I'm your host, Midnight Vesper, and if you're new here, well, here's how this works. For more current/digital games, we'll be using various sites like looking at the MSRP price on places like Steam, GOG, Ubisoft, Epic, etc. To look at the list/MSRP price. For retro games, we'll be using a wide assortment of price charting websites looking at the loose price of the game. We do not count any sales or discounts as they vary from time of purchase. Couple announcements real fast. Summer Games Done Quick 2023 is coming up May 28th through June 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're interested in attending the event, registration is now open until May 3rd. Head on over to gamesdonequick.com for more information. And of course, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel all help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrunning content. Also, do not forget the Summer Games Done Quick 2023 games list is out now. You can head on over to gamesdonequick.com or use !SGDQ in chat for more information. The schedule will be released tomorrow, so that's going to be hype. And don't forget that the premiere of Tiny Tree Fort is coming up. That'll be up later on after this show. But for this show, we're going to have a kind of a 2-for-1 special coming up here. Later on, we're going to be showcasing Brave, the Disney Pixar game. And then right now, we're going to have our very own David TKI showcasing the very, very hip game Pushover. I had some puns in my script, but I forgot the pun for the first one for Brave. So I'm just going to skip the pun for the Pushover one and say, how are you doing, David?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I like my mind just kind of had a moment there for a second, but it's all good. I'm hyped for this run.
Yeah, this is one that I've been playing a lot and having a lot of fun with. Just keep coming back to it. Alright, so if you are unfamiliar with this game, this is Pushover. It is a puzzle game involving dominoes. It was originally released on the Amiga, but then it was later ported to DOS and Super Nintendo. I'm currently playing the DOS version, which I got on GOG for about $5 or so. And if you happen to have a Super Nintendo flash card, those aren't cheap, but the one that I got came with a bundle of games with it, and the Super Nintendo version of Pushover was one of them. So anyways, I think, basic plot introduction. This is just a product placement tie-in for something called Quavers. Colin was dancing in a field one day eating his Quavers. He slipped and he fell. Giant ant caught him, but all of his Quavers fell into an ant hole, which was a portal through time and space to many dastardly puzzles. That's the plot.
That's a good plot for the early 90s.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm pretty eager to get this started. So, ready to count down?
Whenever you're ready.
Alright, then let's go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is a puzzle game about knocking over dominoes. You have to line them up. The domino with the 3 red lines is the final block. It must always fall over last. We're going to spend these first 11 stages to basically just introduce the mechanics of the game. This solid red block is a stop block. It can never fall over, so we don't have to. For this stage, we're just going to move it out of the way. Stop blocks are going to become pretty important later. And yes, as noted in chat, there are 99 levels. Actually, there are 100, but we'll get to that later. This block right here is a tumbler, red spot in the middle, and the tumbler tumbles endlessly until something stops it. I'm already using some time-saving strats here, because I pushed the blocks from the second block and moved the first one in front of the final block so that the tumbler would knock it over sooner. This block in the middle with a red line down the middle is an ascend block. When it is knocked over, it will fly into the air. The zones are divided into basically 9 zones with 11 stages each. That block right there is a bridge block. When it falls over, it will bridge a 1-tile gap. So yeah, 11 stages per zone, 9 zones. this is a splitter. When a domino falls onto it from above, it is going to split into two separate directions and go both ways. What comes next? I believe, the detonate block. So this is a detonate block. When a domino falls onto it, it will destroy the block below you, allowing dominoes to fall through. Coming up next, we're going to have a little introduction to what stop blocks can actually do, because they can't be knocked over, but they will make dominoes that fall onto them bounce the other way. If you put them one tile away from the edge, then it can knock a falling domino the other direction, and in fact, with enough stop blocks, it can continue to fall over endlessly. I think the next stage is going to be just a repeat of the tumbler. No, this is the vanish block. So with the two red lines, the vanish block, when this block falls 90 degrees, it vanishes completely, which means it cannot fall over edges. Now we're getting the repeat of the tumbler, and I'm honestly not sure why we are doing the tumbler again, but the important thing I will point out in this stage is that there was very little of the stage available to me to actually manipulate blocks with. You will not always have access to the entire stage. Finally, this is the last block we are going to introduce. This diagonal red line block is a delay block. When you hit it, it will delay for a little bit before it falls over. But the important bit is that it can temporarily rebound dominoes that fall onto it. So that's going to be an important mechanic later, and we have found the first of Colin's quavers. So we're going to start getting into some real levels here now, and this one's going to be fairly simple. There are dominoes up top that can be only reached with this ascend block, which we are going to place in front of this tumbler and then push it. So that's going to travel along and then knock over the rest of these blocks. Move on to the next stage. Some of these levels, the hardest part is going to be trying to determine where the beginning point of the stage actually is. For this one, it's going to be on the bottom level, and you are going to have to complete the chain of dominoes that goes up as the ascend block goes upward, because if you do not move one yellow domino there, then some of those dominoes are not going to fall over. In this level, we're just going to shift some detonate blocks around, and on that top level, I believe you're supposed to move all of those blocks left one tile, but instead I'm just going to grab this yellow tile from the middle here and move it up, and so I don't have to move anything from the top row. Yeah, I would say about 2/3 of the stages I do the intended solution, and then for like a third of them I do something faster. So we are going to run into something here that's going to require a little more explanation of mechanics. See, the final block with the three red lines has to be the last to fall, but it does not activate until it has fallen a full 90 degrees, which means a block that's put after it that vanishes will not stop it from activating. So if you need to save a little bit of time, you can put something like a bridge or a vanish block immediately after a final block. This stage, there's not a lot here except to activate the ascend block. The bridge is going to rebound off the delay block. Don't hold up here. You might get smashed by the dominoes accidentally walking between them. That is something that can happen. For this stage, we're going to move the delay block as far to the right as we possibly can, because this tumbler is going to push and then rebound and go back toward the final block, but that delay block must be as far to the right as possible, or else the tumbler will knock over the final block before before the other blocks can be knocked over. I'm going to point out this stage here as an example where some of the versions are going to start to diverge a little bit, because the Super Nintendo version of this stage does have ladders leading to some of the lower levels. Those ladders are not here in this version of the game that I am playing, which I don't know if I remembered to mention which version I'm playing. I am playing the DOS version. I have set it up with Sound Blaster. MT32 is an option, but with MT32, I've noticed that I don't have the the actual sound effect of the dominoes falling over, and it feels incomplete without that sound. So I run with Sound Blaster. So detonate block there, go ahead and start the tumbler, and then we're going to move this yellow block, left one. Yeah, start your chain as soon as possible. So one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that I'm pretty consistently going 2 tiles away from the exit and waiting for a block to fall before going toward it. That's because once you open the exit door successfully, GI Ant tries to do a cheering animation that we're trying to interrupt and not let him do. So standing 2 tiles away from the exit will allow me to enter that exit door without that animation triggering, but preparing to push over a stop block also does this. So that's a pretty handy trick to use when you just don't want to deal with these doors. We have the second of Colin's Quakers. After every single stage, I've been getting a token. And that token we're not going to be using. You can basically use a token to reset the stage to the point right before you push the block. But we don't want to be doing that, because if you use a token on a stage when you would ordinarily find a quaver, then you will not find the quaver, and instead, if you don't find all of the quavers, then you are not going to unlock the Fiendish bonus final level. We've got one last block here. Do not walk over the edge with this ascend block, because that's going to be a mistake. And the reason why that will be a mistake will be apparent later, because that is a mechanic I will use later. But for now, bridge here to get to the final block, and then ascend block is going to activate the tumbler. In most stages, it's usually the door on the right that opens if the 2 doors are next to each other, but there's a couple of stages where the left door opens instead, so I gotta remember which is which. For this one, we got a little bit of a race here, because we gotta take the block from the end there and put it at the top here, but we actually have just enough time to place that block there before the ascend block gets up there. So all of these dominoes will fall over. And then we are going to move on to this stage. We're going to move this detonate block over the splitter, and that is a pattern that is going to repeat a lot, because detonate over a splitter allows stuff to fall under the splitter and then activate in both directions. We got to complete that chain on the left so that the final block gets knocked over. For this next stage, we actually don't have to move anything at all. Instead, we can go ahead and just start pushing this immediately. However, we do need to get to this exit door before the detonate block detonates. Otherwise, we are not able to get to this door. So yeah, you may not always have access to the exit. Something else to be wary of.
So
with this stage, yes.
I did have a question, because I know a lot of people in chat were really enjoying the block that just kind of constantly rose up into the edge of the map in the last level. Since we're in space now, are we going to see that block come back?
It might show up a couple of times in certain puzzles. I think the last puzzle might have one of those. But yeah, we'll see ascend blocks a few times, and there's definitely going to be some really fun stuff with the ascend block in the 4th and 5th zones.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we got a favorite block.
The ascend blocks give me a little bit of comical relief, I guess.
Oh, hey, there's one right there. I forgot about that one. Are there multiple solutions for these stages? It depends on the stage. Some of them do have multiple solutions, and a lot of times I have picked up solutions that are sometimes faster than what's intended. Even a couple of cases where the solutions that I've come up with are faster than the tasks for the Super Nintendo version.
Does the Super Nintendo version have, or the other versions provide different audio? I know you mentioned earlier about like using different using different engines to create different sounds and stuff like that.
The audio is going to sound a little bit different, a different set of instruments in the various versions. You do have the same basic background tracks. So like you would hear this track in particular, but rendered in Super Nintendo instead of whatever instruments they chose for DOS Sound Blaster.
Does that mean that somewhere out there is a classical version of this music?
I don't know.
Now I'm curious. I'm going to have to do some research tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of time listening to the Super Nintendo and DOS versions of this soundtrack. Oh, hey, we've got another Ascend block here, which is going to be a pretty handy tool. One of the things that is really important in a lot of these stages is figuring out how to make your dominoes go in split paths. In this case, we're going to have a tumbler activating an Ascend block, going to the upper level, and then continuing onward after the Ascend block moves out of the way. So wherever possible, get your split paths going. This is probably my least favorite stage in this zone because we don't really have a good solution for this other than put the Ascend block to the left, put the tumbler to the right, and then start from the very beginning here. Wherever possible, I like to start the dominoes falling as early as possible, sometimes even by pushing the second domino instead of the first one. No shortcuts for this stage, you just don't have enough time. Level 32, is this the one? No. Okay, we are going to drop a domino onto the splitter there to activate it. That's actually a mechanic that you're not supposed to learn until later, which is that when you carry a block over an edge and onto a splitter and then drop it, that actually activates it, but it does not activate your push. You only get one push on each stage, but carrying something over a ledge and activating it doesn't count.
So I noticed earlier in that particular stage, you hesitated before you went to the right side to drop the blocks. How hard was it to, I guess, learn the timing of this so you know exactly when to time everything to hit at the right spot?
What actually happened there was that I messed up on some of my inputs.
Oh.
Most of these timings are not actually that difficult, because most of your inputs are buffered, so the timings are usually pretty easy to learn. We get ourselves to the fourth zone now. Electronic zone can be pretty fun. It's when some of the solutions start to get really devious and you start really having to consider some of the mechanics of what you're actually doing. But yeah, a lot of these inputs are buffered, so like I'm holding... oh wait, I'm supposed to push this over. Yeah, I hold space to pick up the block. I don't tap it rapidly. Tapping it rapidly is a mistake and can get you into trouble. But yeah, hold space, put it down, right, up, space and hold right, and then go. Yeah, most of these inputs are buffered. There are very few cases where you cannot buffer your inputs. So usually the timings are pretty easy to learn. Like for here, I'm waiting... final block begins to fall over before I start moving toward the exit. Let's see, we've got another one here. Move the splitter to the right. Go ahead and get another Ascend block. Everyone's favorite. Gonna go right here, and then I'll go ahead and move this over here. This should be all I need to do for this stage.
The backgrounds of this level are very well done.
You like them?
Yeah, they're really pretty well detailed for 92.
Yeah, just this game is such a joy to look at, such a joy to watch. Yeah, the dominoes falling over, really fun. Oh, is this the... oh, this is one of the first stages that I got stuck on when I was playing this casually. So what we have going on here is that we need to split our path two ways, and you'll notice that there are blocks up there, and so you're going to want to put the Ascend block below the gap, but you can't put it below the gap because then the blocks below are not going to fall. So you have to put the Ascend block one to the left of the gap so that it knocks over the other dominoes as it flies upward, which is a very rough mechanic to learn, and I got stuck on that for a while. I think I had to look up the solution to that stage. All right, so we've got another little bit going on here. Let's see, I'm going to move this out of the way, and then the ascend block is going to go over here, and this is going to go up here. You do not want to put the delay block at the top of the stairs. You want to put it at the bottom of the stairs. You do need to delay how quickly the blocks are going to get to that final block in the upper left, but you don't want the delay block at the top of the stairs because the delay block is going to take a very long time to actually fall down those stairs. So you don't want to do that. Here's an interesting puzzle here, which again is going to be different from the Super Nintendo version, because in the Super Nintendo version, the bottom ladder is actually a lot further to the left. So the task is going to be doing a different solution than what I have chosen to do right here. See, there's only one stop block, and that's all the way on the right. So the solution that you are normally expected to do is to move some of these blocks out of the way. I mentioned earlier that the final block does not activate until it falls a full 90 degrees. Well, you have to move the two dominoes to the right of it out of the way, or else it will not be able to fall over all the way.
I did see... Go ahead.
So we're going to go ahead and activate this by dropping onto the splitter, and yeah, that's going to knock over everything. The delay block will continue left and downward. The task does not do this solution. It instead brings that stop block all the way to the left as the blocks are falling over. But I think in the DOS version, at least, what I did is faster there. Speaking of, we are going to actually move this stop block after it is knocked over. Oh, Chad is going to love this interaction with the ascend blocks here. Watch this when it gets there. But you had a question?
Yeah, someone fronted up a really interesting question, and I'm going to try my hardest to make sure I ask it correctly. But the question was, oh my goodness, that's not the question, but do you need to use all the red dominoes in order to complete the stage?
No, you do not have to use red dominoes at all.
Is it there for the speedrunning purposes, or is it there mostly for any other form of entertainment?
The red dominoes?
Yeah, like for using them in the puzzles and stuff like that.
No, they're there to help you complete the puzzles, but you don't have to use them if you find a faster solution.
Okay.
This is the stage that's supposed to teach you dropping onto this, because the domino I picked up at the top was a bridge. You can't push it over or it blocks that gap over the splitter, so the only thing you can do is carry it over the edge and activate the splitter that way. This is going to be the one stage where we have no pushes at all. And we're going to reuse that mechanic here, activate that splitter, and then go ahead and push this tumbler, and I think that's all we need to do here. This is a fairly simple stage. More than blocks. What kind of animal is this character? He is an ant.
Which explains why he's inside of a computer. Doesn't explain some of the other levels, but for this level, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I don't have an explanation for you on why an ant went into space. Colin, why are you laughing at me? I'm getting your quavers for you.
Okay, so I have a question. What are quavers?
I don't know. There's some sort of snack. Okay. I think it's a European thing, but I have no idea what quavers are.
I didn't know if that was something that was just in the game, like a type of food that was made in the game, or if it was an actual thing that I just didn't know.
I don't know. This is a product placement game. We're spending an hour 20 minutes on product placement, but it's really good product placement. We're gonna get to the Greek zone here. This one's gonna be fun for a bit. So I'm going to activate that tumbler, and I'm going to have to carry this stop block back and forth to keep the tumbler going while all of these other dominoes fall over.
Did the ant just moonwalk?
He shouldn't have.
Maybe I was just looking at something the wrong way.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I was looking at my visual cues for where to place the stop block so that the tumbler would be as far to the right as possible. Oh, chat is going to love what I do with the ascend blocks in this stage. So yeah, we've got 3 of them up here that are going to need to be placed in their correct locations. One's going to be right here so that it activates the top row. One is going to be put in the bottom right so that a tumbler goes along and activates it so it knocks over the second row. And then those are the only 2 we're going to actually move, because we're going to go ahead and start the chain from here. We're supposed to place that last ascend block in the lower left to actually start the chain, but instead we are going to walk over that edge with it and activate it that way. So, bye-bye. It was nice seeing you.
Oh no! Yet again, another one must go. I did see in chat that chat answered, quavers are apparently a type of curly potato puffs, and someone said that most commonly they are cheese flavored. Thank you, chat. I want to try one now.
Not gonna lie, I kind of do too.
Yeah.
Can anybody bring some to SGDQ?
I was gonna ask, actually.
Oh yeah, little race there. I did not have to move that yellow block down there, but it's slightly faster. Just slightly. What's next here? Ah, this one. Okay, yeah, the tumbler block goes there. We're just going to go ahead and activate this and then go down here. If you move the tumbler and the yellow block to the right there, then you do have enough time to get down here and then move this and then move out of the way before, yeah, because otherwise you would not be able to reach the exit anymore. You can die from falling. Okay, go ahead and activate this. I always forget what I'm supposed to do immediately here. Any delay in actually starting your actions can cost you some time. Yeah, move the stop block over here. And then we should have just enough time to fall down here before the bridge seals it. There we go.
I assume that if you don't get down there and the bridge gets sealed, you have to restart the level?
Yes!
And I think
because, like, you can knock over everything and you can open up the exit, but if you can't get to the exit door, then that's effectively mission failed.
Okay. I did see a question in chat. I think it was answered at the beginning, but for those who may be coming in a little bit later, what's the lore / story as to why we're pushing these blocks over?
So Colin was dancing around in a field one day when he accidentally fell, and then GI Ant here caught Colin before he fell so that he didn't land on his butt. But all of his quavers fell into an ant hole, so we went into that ant hole, which is actually a portal through space and time to all these dastardly puzzles. That's the lore. We're getting Colin his quavers back.
I appreciate the fact that an anthill has a portal to different worlds.
I mean, it makes sense to me. It's a DOS game. Well, an Amiga game, originally. So yeah, we can move that ascend block, and you know what? I can actually pick up this tumbler while it's in motion. I mean, I could have done any number of things. Pick up any of those blocks and drop them onto the splitter, unseal the way. I chose to just pick up the tumbler itself. And that is going to be a useful tactic a lot later. What's here? Oh, yes. There's a faster way through this stage that I don't feel comfortable doing. So I'm just going to do a slightly slower way. The faster way involves bringing one of those yellow blocks down here and pushing that. But I'm instead just going to push those delay blocks from the middle to guarantee that they all fall over. Slightly safer. I feel more comfortable with that. Level 54. Aha! We've got more ascend blocks doing things here. So there's a little pattern that's happening in this stage again that we've seen in some previous stages, which is going to be... That's not the correct one. It's this one. Which is going to be that the ascend block can go up through a detonate block's created gap and continue upward a bit more. I think I am supposed to place this ascend block to just beneath that detonate block and then wait for it to be detonated before it goes further up. But actually, there's more than enough time for all of the blocks to fall over before the ascend block gets all the way up. So I'm instead going to move it to the right so that it's not blocked and it just keeps going. And then push and we go.
I like how the ant taps their leg.
Yeah, that can actually be a little bit of a problem and something I have to be wary of. Because if he gets impatient and starts tapping his leg, he starts ignoring my inputs, which can be a problem if he's in the middle of doing that when I want to start going toward the exit door. So that's actually something I have to be wary of. Slight delay there. I hope that did not stop me from making it here. Place the bridge here, fall over. Okay, good. We're fair.
Wow.
We're fine.
That was close.
That was real close. Some of those timings are pretty tight. Alright, Castle Zone. This one's going to be a simple little snake. Castle Zone has a lot of what I call races, which is basically just you start knocking stuff over, and then you have to race to place everything into the correct position before it's too late. For this one, we have a simple snake going on, a single stop block that will help us bring this snake all the way down. Do away and go in. Here, we're just going to cut off this chain to the left and then go ahead and activate this splitter with the domino we picked up before we push this and then continue onward. Yeah, cutting off that chain makes it possible to just make sure the final block doesn't fall too soon. For this one, we have a lot of splitters that are going to be activated by just dropping blocks onto them.
No, I have... Go ahead.
Yes.
No, I'll say I have to wonder, because we're going through portals to get to these different zones and stuff like that, does that affect how big or how small the ant is? If not, this is a very small castle. Or the ant is very large. I can't figure out which is which at this moment.
I don't really have an answer for that, nor do I really have an answer for how the heck the ant is getting those quavers all the way back through 60 levels to get him back to Colin. I don't know how he's doing that. I don't know, maybe the level self-destruct in the portal just leads back to the surface. I don't know. This stage, I have to note something important here because I do have to use this stop block to rebound this tumbler once these bridges are created. This is one of the few places where I can't buffer my inputs, and so it's possible to place that stop block one tile to the left, but the timing on that is really tight. And so I went for a safer solution there, but that's one of the few places where I can't buffer my inputs. But at least I don't have a solution for it. Oh yeah, as pointed out in chat, he's a GI ant. Oh, I love this stage. Okay, so for this stage, you're supposed to push this yellow block at the top to start the chain there, and then you're supposed to follow that tumbler along all the way, moving whatever blocks that you need to in order to make sure that the snaking path continues to go down. But I have not done that. I have taken this yellow block with me all the way down. So what that did is that since it didn't fall over at the top, the tumbler that was at the top did not fall on it. So now it's continuing, and now I've got like 3 tumblers going on, and I'm going to have to figure out what to do with them because tumblers have to stop or fall off the screen before you activate the final block. So place the yellow block there, and that's going to stop 2 of the tumblers while the 3rd one activates the final block. I love that stage.
That's really interesting. I like it's unique and it's different, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it when a solution just kind of goes like, wait, there is no way they expected this to happen at all.
Yeah.
Alright, so I do see a question in chat, what's the average length of a run? there's only 3 times on the leaderboard right now, and I do have the second place time with a PB of 1 hour 12 minutes. The third place time, I think, is like 1 hour 18, 1 hour 19, or something like that, and the world record is 1 hour 9 minutes. The other 2 times on the leaderboard are for the Super Nintendo version. My time is for the DOS version, and there are no runs for the Amiga version. So if anybody is wanting to check out the Amiga version and put that on the board, I would love to see what happens with the Amiga version.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah. Amiga is a platform that I haven't explored very much, but I really ought to.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with an Amiga. All of my computers were IBM XTs, IBM PS2s with DOS or Windows 95 on them. One on the right.
I only grew up basically Nintendo up until I got Final Fantasy VII. So I've always I've always been Nintendo and PC.
I delayed a little bit there. That might have been a mistake. Am I too slow? No! I did it!
Nice!
Oh, that's scary. Gotta place that bridge there so that the tumbler can make it. I can't keep getting away with this. Yeah, question in chat, what are the differences between Amiga and DOS? I don't know. And that's why I really want to see the Amiga version. Oh, right. We gotta move this over here. This stage can be pretty tricky if you take it at face value and you try to stick your tumblers at the end of the bottom right of the dominoes, because if one of your dominoes ends up in right below that gap where the ascend block is, if one of your dominoes ends up there, then that yellow block rebounds off of the delay block and then falls over onto your domino and destroys it. You can't win a stage if one domino falls directly onto another and completely destroys it. So you can't have them being reduced to rubble like that. I think this is the last stage of the castle zone. Another little race here. Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure if I said it earlier, but I love how the yellow block just remind me of cheese. Which makes sense when you think about what we're talking about earlier of the quavers.
Oh yeah, we got some cheese-flavored dominoes.
Yeah.
That'll make some sense.
Now I kind of want pizza.
Pizza sounds nice. Yeah, it's been a while since I made any at home. Oh, Toyland. Oh, Toyland gets really, really fun.
I would hope so with it being Toyland.
Oh, that was not correct. Okay, maybe I have time for this. You know what, this will be fine. But yeah, Toyland, its puzzles start to get very weird and unclear. Like, for example, this one where I'm going to end up using a bridge to knock over the final block from the lower left, which is probably not something you would have noticed immediately. But yeah, Toyland is one of the zones where I got stuck the most often in casual play. Almost every single puzzle here, well, a lot of the puzzles here, just I got stuck on a lot of them for a really long time. This one should be fairly simple. You just have to get down to the bottom in time with this ascend block. Just place it right here, and then we should be good.
I forget what kind of toys these are, like what this was inspired by. Because I can remember the metallic feel, but I can't remember what they were actually called.
Connects? I don't know. Yeah, this is one of those stages that I think I got stuck on for a really long time. There's all these vanish blocks in the way here. It's pretty clear that we do need to move this delay block to the upper left so that the ascend block in the lower left will be able to activate everything on the way up. I forgot to move this thing. But the thing I'm going to do here is going to end up a little bit different from what I think was intended. I think this tumbler was supposed to stay up top, but instead I've moved it down here to activate it almost immediately. Then here we've got this domino blocking the exit, so it needs to not block the exit. And we need to move the yellow to the right. The yellow is going to stop the tumbler, and then that's going to open up the exit. There we go. Yeah. Here's another one that's pretty easy to overthink it, but there's a lot of delay blocks to the left here that usually you might be inclined to move, but instead I'm just going to go ahead and put a stop block there so that when that domino falls from above, it's just going to knock over all of those delay blocks on the left side just kind of normally. Then this delay block will continue this chain on this side, and that's going to do it for this stage. Just gonna dance to this music for a bit.
I really like the music. I know it can be somewhat repetitive, but it's really kind of just relaxing in some way.
It is pretty relaxing. Even as you tear your hair out trying to figure out what is the solution to all of these puzzles.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this is a puzzle which I don't know the fast solution to this. I only know of whatever dang solution that I came up with while playing it. So that's the solution that we're getting this time. But for now, I do need to... Let's see, can I move most of... I think I need 2 delay blocks on the left. I don't know, we'll just... Yeah, that looks correct. Yeah, we'll just move those along, and then I do need to move this domino out of the way so that the tumbler that comes crashing down does not block the exit. Okay, and that should do it for this stage. This is not an optimal solution, but it's a solution, so I'm just going to take it for now. Go ahead and activate these, and then drop this over the edge. The reason I'm doing that is because I think that detonate block is going to stop me from being able to climb on that ladder anymore. And it's better to just be closer to the exit once it opens up. Ooh, we got another race here. We can go ahead and push that over immediately. Gotta get ourselves all the way down here. I do want to point out just how long that falling animation takes, because that has changed the solutions to some of my stages later on, just because of how long it takes to fall over some ledges. But yeah, we need to move these here and have the delay block on the edge there, because if you don't put the delay block on the edge, then the yellow block would instead bounce off of it and then fall back over to the ledge below and destroy the rubble beneath it. Way earlier, I mentioned that you didn't want the delay block at the top of the stairs because it would go down super slowly. We're going to want that here, and you're going to see just how slowly it goes down the stairs. We're going to have more than enough time to move all of this stuff while it goes down. Yeah, look how slow that is.
They'd like to take their time.
They do. But, the final block's going to go ahead and open the exit door, so I'll wait just a bit to show first that cheering animation, and second, the other block falling over and reducing the others into rubble. Now, normally, that does prevent you from finishing a stage, but the exit door was already open, so I get to get away with it that time, and only on that stage. I just wanted to show that off. Alright, wait for these to move out of the way. Going to wait for the bounce off of the stop block here, place it all the way to the right because we do need enough time for that tumbler on the bottom to stop before the final block gets knocked over. Also move this out of the way so the final block can be knocked over, but put it down first because the exit door will not open if you are actually in the middle of carrying a domino, even if it's a stop block. So don't be holding anything. This is another fun stage, and one where I really scratched my head trying to figure out just what the solution was. But here's how this is going to work. Do you see it?
Yeah, no?
Okay. There's detonate blocks on each level. We're going to place them in a manner such that, I mean, ordinarily you would have the gaps all lining up on the right side, but you can have the gap go left one tile on each level.
Oh.
Which is, yeah, because there's an ascent block down there. So we're going to move this here and have it activate, and it's going to go all the way back up and activate that stuff at the top.
Nice.
Yeah, that is a really difficult solution to see. This is definitely one of the trickier stages. We do have something similar going on in this stage, but not quite the same, which is detonate blocks going down with a tumbler. I'm going to wait for it to bounce off that delay block, but then pick up the delay block so I can actually place it over there. Which is just a weird little thing that I can do. It actually bounced off the delay block, but it didn't fall over because I picked it up before it could. This yellow block needs to be moved out of the way. We're going to need this yellow block down at the bottom level because there is a delay block right in front of the final block, and if I leave it there, then the tumbler is going to bounce off the delay block and keep going, and then we're not going to have the exit door open. So yellow block there to stop the tumbler. Last stage of Toyland, and I do have to move this bridge and then push it, because otherwise that gap there is far enough that I will die if I fall there. So I do have to use my one push there, but I can pick this up, walk over the edge with it, and then the exit door is right here, so I'm going to have to move a couple of things in order to get to that exit door. First, I have to create a bridge there, and then move that yellow block on the right out of the way so that it does not get reduced to rubble.
So you can actually die?
Yes! If you fall too far, if a domino smashes you, which you can do, because I've been pressing up to move into position to push the dominoes. If you do that, and then a domino falls on you, then you get squished and you die. If you die, you just restart the stage.
I assume that those cutscenes are just always those cutscenes and they're not like randomized or in a different order sometimes?
Correct. Those cutscenes are not randomized. They happen on the same levels every time, and they're the same cutscenes on the same levels. So, as far as I know, if you use a token on a level in which you don't find a Quaver, then you're perfectly fine, and it's entirely possible to just learn which level is which. Anyway, so we've got a little bit of moving some stuff here just to make sure this chain completes. And we're going to go up here. This is the 8th zone, the dungeon zone, and this is kind of my least favorite zone. And the main reason for that is that a lot of these levels have winding ladder paths, which take a long time to walk back and forth to get down. And in particular, my least favorite stage is in this zone and has a whole lot of that. Well, we'll get to that later, but for now, detonate block goes over the splitter. We're going to move this bridge over here to fill this gap here. And then there's actually two different ways that you could do this. When I was originally running this level, I was taking one of the dominoes from the bottom right to cut off that chain so that I could then move it down to the... Move it up here. I don't know, I was doing something, but instead now I'm starting the chain from the second block here, taking the first block, bringing it all the way down, and I'm going to use it to stop the tumbler before the ascend block activates the final block. I think this is, yeah, it's this one. This is one where the solution's hard to see. You've got two tumblers up here, and so you have to activate one before you can get down, and then you have to bring the other one down. The tumbler goes right here, but it's kind of hard to see what the solution is until you remember that there's a detonate block right there, and that's going to give you just enough of a gap so that when the tumbler goes down, you can have it bounce off that stop block to get to the final block.
Wow. I feel like when I watch some of this my brain hurts a little bit from watching this.
It took a while to learn this game. My first couple of runs were somewhere around 2 hours long. 2.5 hours? Yeah, 2.5 hours. Alright, Yes.
I was gonna say, so we've had Toyland, we've had Space, we've had Computer Chip. Is this Castlevania Land?
I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, that's way better than what I've been calling it, which is the Dungeon Zone.
There was another Nintendo game that I can't remember that had the same kind of aesthetic that was recently, I think, remastered. I just can't remember what it was. But I like calling it the Castlevania stage.
Yeah, that's a pretty good name for it. Yeah, this one here is fairly easy to overthink, but just move the delay block down there. This ascend block will get to the final block. This yellow block will stop the tumbler. Is that too far to the left? No, it's fine. Right. Oh, yes. For this one, I have again changed up some of the solutions. This tumbler here, I used my one push on that tumbler. But I'm just going to move some of this stuff over here. Let's see, bridge goes to the left there to get to those vantage blocks. And then I do have to move one of those yellow blocks down here. And since I've used my push, I'm going to activate the splitter by dropping the block onto it directly. And then I should have enough time to get to the bottom level. There's a stop block there that is not going to be doing anything anymore. So it's going to move to the far right edge over here. And then I do need to move this yellow block over here so that it gets knocked over. And that should do it for that stage. I feel like we're getting very close to my least favorite stage in the game. Yeah, this is it. This is my least favorite stage in the game. So here's what's going to happen. This delay block has to be moved all the way down, and then there are a lot of places on this stage where there are gaps in the dominoes, and there are 10 splitters that are out of the way. Every single one of those splitters has to be moved into place on these winding ladder paths. There's 10 of them. So, yeah, you can see why this might be my least favorite stage in the game. It takes a while, and if we were doing donations, I would call for them here.
In that case, I will say that someone in chat helped me to the Nintendo game I was talking about earlier. It was Ghosts and Goblins. I haven't played that game in a while, but thank you, chat. Also, don't forget, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, head on over to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern.
So one of the things I did actually test in this stage was carrying splitters over a lot of the edges versus just taking the ladder. Unfortunately, for all of the splitters in the upper right, it is faster to take the ladder. So unfortunately, no time save for me there. The splitters on the left side, I will at least be able to take a shortcut over the edge there. Did you have anything else?
Oh, yeah, I have plenty. For those that don't know, or if you are interested, Summer Games Done Quick 2023 is coming up May 28th through June 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're interested in attending the event, registration is now open until May 3rd. Head on over to GamesDoneQuick.com for more information, and do not forget that tomorrow is going to be the schedule. Schedule comes out tomorrow. The games list came out last week. You can head on over to GamesDoneQuick.com or use !SGDQ in chat for more information. Looks like we solved it.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for getting us through that.
No problem.
Yeah, we've got... There's a ladder there? How have I never noticed that there's a ladder on the left side of this stage? How have I never noticed that? Wow. Okay. I'm learning new things in this run on GDQ right now. Alright, so we do have to move some of these things into place. In particular, oops, little delay there. Delay blocks there, yellow block here. Okay, we can go ahead and push this over and start doing the thing now, because we should have enough time at this point to move those yellow blocks up top to where they need to be. So yeah, take this one, move it here, and then take this one and move it down here. Okay, we're good, we're good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to test out the ladder. The ladder might be faster than falling. We know how slow falling is. Alright, for this one of those dominoes from this level right here does need to be moved down, because otherwise we don't have enough room to actually move all of those dominoes around. Let's see. Ball here, I guess? Oh, whatever, I'll just take it. The delay blocks have to be moved to the left side, and the regular blocks have to be moved to the right side. But after moving those two blocks, we can go ahead and start this. Just go ahead and push this. We should have enough time to get up there. Let's see, delay block needs to be moved next. Move that, then move this one in the middle, and then we're good. And you gotta be careful with your timing there, because if you're too slow and you place the block as another block is falling onto it, they're gonna destroy each other, get reduced to rubble. So I'm not sure what the intended solution for this stage is, because there's a bridge block here, but I'm not sure what the bridge is supposed to be used for. I mean, I'm just kind of lining it up here with the rest of the dominoes, and it's just gonna fall over like a normal domino. Detonate over splitter, and then there's an extra splitter to the right there, which we're gonna go ahead and drop to the lower level there. Let's see, push this, run over here, grab this, drop down, and then we're good. All the way up there.
Nice job.
And here we are, the final level of the Ghosts and Goblins, the Castlevania zone. One of those.
One of the three.
Old habits die. Yeah, habits. But yeah, this is going to be a fairly quick stage, and then we're going to move on to the final zone, which is my favorite. No, I don't want to give you any. He just shot me with a laser gun.
Wait! We're helping you! Why? Why?
I don't know.
You just destroyed a portal into other universes. Even
with
after we gave you your chips.
Anyway, this is the ninth zone, which we pretty much just call Japan. And this is my favorite zone, and a big reason for that is because this zone has my favorite background track. Was that wrong? Hold on a sec. No, I should have enough time to put the detonate block down. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're fine. Gotta get rid of all those vanish blocks. This next stage is going to... It's one that stumped me for quite a while until I figured out what I needed to do. See, all of these delay blocks are here, and they're going to be falling down, but we do need to complete a path to the final block. Cut off this chain here. That's the ingredient that I was missing when I did this stage initially. You cut off the chain so that you have a little more time to place these blocks, and you don't risk like running out of blocks before you need them.
I also noticed, because I was gonna maybe talk about the timer at the very bottom left, and I was like, oh, they always give you more time because of the harder the levels. That was less than a minute to solve that puzzle.
Yeah, so actually, each level has its own separate timer, and there are some levels where the timer is actually quite strict. But yes, this timer does mark how much time you have to solve the level, and if you run out of time, then the exit door will open, but you're gonna have to replay the stage. Anyways, yeah, you can actually pick up the tumbler blocks while they're moving, and that's going to help us to set them up in such a way so that it's possible to pretty much, what is it? I need to do this stage carefully because this is an easy one for me to mess up, and I don't want to take any chances with this one. But let's see, detonate block goes here, ascend block goes here, and then that goes here, and then make sure to put this ascend block here. Okay, we should be good from here. Push this left. You gotta make sure that that tumbler has more than enough time to rebound off the stop block, and then, hold on. Something here doesn't feel right.
I believe.
No, it's fine. Everything's fine.
See? Yeah.
Yeah. Tumbler block needs enough time to go left, bounce off the stop block, bounce off the delay block, bounce off the stop block again, and then it's going to stop there. And you need that much time in order to have enough time to actually move all the vanished blocks down the level. Oh, good question in chat. Can you move the final block? No. The final block is the one block you cannot move.
That kind of makes sense, because if you could move it, you just move it next to one of the other blocks and then just, bring it down, and that's it.
Yeah. So this is another stage that caused me a lot of trouble trying to figure it out. I think the yellow block that I put up there is supposed to be used to stop this tumbler. Instead, I'm going to... Phew, we're fine there. Okay. Very often what happens is that tumbler, if not stopped, will rebound the other way, run into the other tumbler, and then they will destroy each other. And so you can't complete the stage that way. But if you pick it up and stop it, and then wait for the other tumbler to activate it again, then you can have them fall in the same direction instead of into each other, and they'll be fine that way.
So is in between each individual level, is it a is it saying you have this many levels left? Is it like a leaderboard? Is it like congratulations for completing the level?
It's basically showing you what level you just completed and what your password is for returning to that point. So yeah, if you put down this game and want to play it again later, write down your password, or go to GameFAQs and just use one of the passwords written there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here's a level where my solution is different from the task and definitely faster. Because one of the things the task does is it activates that ascend block at the top immediately, but then it has to fall all the way back down. And as we've already noted, falling is quite slow. So instead, I did the top block last, and that allowed me to be falling while all the blocks were falling over. So that's one solution where my solution is faster than the task. Disclaimer there that there is only one task, and it is for the Super Nintendo version, so not everything from it applies to this. In particular, the Super Nintendo version, the general stage movement is a lot faster, but the load times between each stage are a lot longer. And this is with me playing DOSBox at 5,000 cycles, which is slowing down the load times a little bit on purpose. I haven't sped it up because if I do, then I can never slow it down again. And I'm not going to do that until, somebody puts out an argument for doing so. If I was on max cycles, then the Super Nintendo would not stand a chance because of the load times. This is probably the least interesting stage in this zone, or at least I think it's the least interesting. Arguably, the final stage of this zone is a little less interesting, because it's long-winded, but oh well. This one, the solution's clear. Splitters, bridges, and then we do have enough time here to actually go ahead and push this, and then bring the bridge all the way to the exit. Gonna go down here, place this, and we go. 96. Aha! This is one where the Super Nintendo and DOS again differ, and I've had to come up with my own solution. Because in the Super Nintendo version, that upper ledge doesn't quite extend all the way, it's 2 tiles short, so you can just leave whatever blocks you want up there. But in this one, the edge is 2 tiles longer, so I have had to move one of the detonate blocks up there. On this third level down here, there are several bridges in front of detonate blocks, and for the most part, yeah, we're just going to place these here so that all these bridges will seal the gaps made by the detonate blocks. But there is a single bridge here that now no longer has a detonate with it, so we're going to have to deal with that later. There's 6 tumblers in the upper left here, and the strategy that we're going to be doing here is that one of the tumblers needs to be separated from the rest so that we can more easily work with it. And the way we're going to do that is that we're going to move some of these ascend blocks down, and then the vanish blocks on this level that I'm trying to skip, the second from the top, we're going to move these all the way up. One engine difference between the Super Nintendo and the DOS version. In the Super Nintendo version, you're only going to need 1 vanish block to pull this off, but in the DOS version, 1's not enough. You're going to need 3. So we're going to go ahead and move this third vanish block here, and once we do that, then we should be able to start this chain up here by pushing the tumbler in the upper left. All of these 6 tumblers are going to go at once. The vanish block will activate 1 tumbler ahead of the rest, which will tumble down from the detonate block. Move the stop block out of the way so that those 5 tumblers go off the edge. We don't have to deal with them anymore. We just instead have this one that we're going to deal with. So this bridge has to be moved out of the way. If it's left in front of the tumbler, it's going to block its path. But we're going to be doing something with this just to make sure. So we're going to see the ascent snake again. Be careful, if you're too fast here, it's actually possible to destroy your bridge block off of that last ascend block. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and place this in front of the final block, and then that's going to be how we solve that stage.
I know we talk about like I talk about the game design and all that. Like, I want to know from the sake of the people who designed this game, these puzzles, like, did they go from solving it backwards? Did they have to like think about all the different puzzles? Because you have 100 of them, and they're all uniquely different. So I'm wondering how hard that would have been in the sense of designers and programmers to make all these different puzzles.
I accidentally pushed the wrong block.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be a fascinating thing. I don't know how puzzle games are designed, but would love to find out more about that.
Right? Especially some of the old school puzzle games where you didn't have a whole lot on the field, but they still had to come up with a lot of interesting puzzles to kind of always keep the mind going.
But here we do need to place a stop block there just to make sure that tumbler stops soon enough. And then we're going to go up here. We're going to get to another stage that stumped me for a little bit. I believe, yeah, this is the one. So what we have here, there's going to be a lot of splitters and a lot of detonate blocks. Let's see, first of all, let's go ahead and move some of this stuff over here. Let's see, this bridge block, I need to preserve that for later, so that needs to move down here. Then I'm going to move this domino that's beneath that splitter over to here, which has left a space that I'm going to fill with this splitter. So what else do I have going on? I've got a top row to manipulate there. I don't want to activate any of these by actually pushing over anything. This splitter gonna be placed immediately off of that ledge to the right there. This detonate block placed over that splitter, and then that does give me 1 extra detonate block, which I'm going to go ahead and carry over the edge to activate that splitter. And the reason that I am doing all of this is because I have 2 blocks on the bottom there. I can't reach those. The ladder will not let me reach that floor, so I have to actually detonate this floor right here before I can get down here. So I'm going to go here, move these blocks up here, and then I'll be able to push them to activate them. And then that should do it for this stage. And this is a very difficult one to optimize until you start to see the solutions. But yeah, I've gotten stuck on this one for a long time as well. Coming up next, we'll have the last stage of Japan and the penultimate stage overall. And this one's going to be pretty lengthy, kind of like the one in the dungeon zone, but I don't mind it so much, mostly because I am actively knocking over some stuff. So first things first, you do need a tumbler over here, and you need to move a splitter over here. There's a convenient little gap here. So you're going to start to see what the pattern is for this stage once I activate this. There's a lot of vanish blocks. We're going to activate it. They're all going to disappear. I only have the top half of this stage to work with right now. But I knocked over a tumbler down to the bottom, and that knocked out that bottom row. So in order to get to the second row, I'm going to need a bridge to fill that gap. And then I'm going to need a tumbler right after it. So I go ahead and place that there. Then for the rest of the time here, I'm going to be moving these vanish blocks down from left to right until I get all the way to the right where I place the splitter, and then I drop a domino onto that, and we're going to be repeating that until we run out of vanish blocks and splitters. Yeah, we'll be at this for a bit, so if you've got anything else you would like to announce, now is a pretty good time for it.
Sure, I would love to just go off and remind everyone that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. Always consider subscribing, or please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrunning content. And don't forget, after the bargain bin, starting at around 10 p.m. Eastern, is Tiny Tree Fort. It's kind of a temporary show that's going to be showcasing some of the amazing kind of showcasing the Frame for Tiles community of gamers. That'll be coming up after our show here at the Bargain Bin. And then tomorrow, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Game Mastered, followed by Time Capsule. And of course, after this particular run, we do have the amazing Disney Pixar game Brave. So we have a great lineup of games and entertainment for you all on this Monday.
And we are coming up pretty close to the end of the run here. This is the last zone of the last level of Japan. Not the last level overall, but because there's one final bonus level after this. But yeah, I've got after this, one more splitter to set up. So we should be getting pretty close to that ending. Alright, so let's see. There's two more vanish blocks, and then there's actually an extra regular block, which we can go ahead and use it now. You might be tempted to use it earlier, but we need to be keeping the path here clear so that we can have all of these other blocks vanish. So we should activate this last splitter with this domino, and then that last tumbler to the left, we're going to bring it downstairs with us. So yeah, bring it down here, put it in place. I haven't actually pushed any of these blocks yet. My one push is going to go right here. And so that's going to bring us to the Fiendish bonus final level. You should be good enough to attempt the Fiendish final bonus screen. Good luck, you'll need it. So what makes this final screen Fiendish? You can't see which blocks are special anymore. But I can tell you what they are. This is a delay block, and I'm going to go ahead and place it right here. There's actually two solutions that I know of to this puzzle, but I'm going to do the one I came up with because I think this is cooler. This is another delay block. That's going to go right there. That lone block up top is a regular block. This block that I have picked up is also a regular block. So we're going to go ahead and move it in front of the final block. I've just placed it there. This is an ascent block. I'm going to use this to reach that lone block up there. This is a stop block. I'm just going to move it out of the way. You're supposed to put that stop block to the left to to continue a chain that way, but we're not going to do that. This block right here is a splitter. We're going to drop it over the edge here, and then we're going to activate it by dropping this onto the splitter. These remaining blocks up here are regular blocks, so I'm just going to go ahead and move them down here. And one more block. We push it from the lower left, and then time is going to be coming up when the screen fades to black, when I exit through that exit door. So let's go ahead, push this over. That exit door is going to open up. We go up here, and then...
Wow, nice. Well done indeed. Well done indeed. Chat very, very much liked this game. I know there may be some people who are in chat like, this looks like something I may be able to pick up. This may be something I'd be really interested in, either just casually, or maybe some of them would be like, I kind of want to like push myself and make this into a speed run. Or I know people may be interested in getting, what was it, the Amiga version to try out?
The Amiga version.
Yeah. Is there a particular spot people could go to learn more about this run, or more information about just games like this?
I don't know offhand. Right now, whatever community there is for Pushover is pretty small. The three runners have basically just kind of done things on their own. I did get this game on GOG.com, and that gave me the DOS version. And then my flash card for the Super Nintendo came with a copy of this game for the Super Nintendo. But I don't know what the Amiga version is like or how to get it. And yeah. There's probably guides on GameFAQs for how to solve some of these stages, but there's also a tool-assisted speedrun for Super Nintendo, as well as my own speedruns if you want to look at possible solutions for this.
So, okay, with that being said, where could people go to find more information about you, or to find some of the VODs or anything else along those lines?
I do have a Twitch stream on twitch.tv/DavidTKI, and I also have a speedrun.com profile under the name DavidTKI. Under YouTube, that's under my real name, which is David Craft Ishihama. So, and I post most of my PBs to YouTube and submit through YouTube. And then I am on Discord, but I don't have my own Discord server. I'm probably most active in the Quest for Glory speedrunning server.
Ah, okay, awesome. Any other final shout-outs that you'd like to go ahead and give?
I just want to give a shout-out to Cart7, who played this game well before I did. It was fun seeing her runs on the board, and I just want to thank her for doing the moderator duty there. I don't like modding. I like someone else to do it, so thanks, Cart7.
I feel that. All right, David, thank you so very much for showcasing that amazing Pushover game. It was so much fun to watch. Do not forget, chat, that we have another game coming up here in a little bit. It is the Disney Pixar Brave, I believe based off of the movie of the same name. While we get things set up for that, we're going to take a small little break. This is a great opportunity to get up, stretch, get some snacks, everything else along those lines. Maybe get a something, to warm yourself up, like a blanket or something. But we'll be right back with the Disney Pixar Brave. Hello and welcome back to the Bargain Bin. I'm still your host, Midnight Vesper. Before we get into our next run, do not forget that Summer Games Done Quick 2023 is coming up May 28th through June 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're interested in attending the event, registration is now open until May 3rd. Head on over to GamesDoneQuick.com for more information, and do not forget that tomorrow the schedule comes out, and the games list is out now. So if you want to see what games are going to be in Summer Games Done Quick 2023, you can head on over to GamesDoneQuick.com or use !SGDQ in chat. Now, let's head on over to our good friend Steve TV Online, who will be showcasing the Disney Pixar Brave. And it's the version that we went off and said was Disney Pixar Brave, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve TV Online, and I'm going to be playing Disney Pixar Brave. You could call this, I guess, if you want to, a Disney-fied version of a top-down shooter. If you want to classify it as that, I don't know. But I'm joined here by MOD366.
Hi guys. And girls and non-binary people, of course.
Yes.
He and I are two of, I guess, the most active runners of this game, and me being like the main one. So he's going to be able to explain a little bit about the game as well as I am. If you've seen the movie Brave, or if you haven't, don't worry about it. This really doesn't follow the story at all.
Like me, who hasn't yet.
So we're going to be playing on easy difficulty because this is a speedrun, so just to make it a little bit easy. And this game actually does kind of have a difficulty curve near the end of the game. The final boss does. So easy still won't really help. Like, it helps out, but near the end.
You can still die.
Yeah. So I'm going to be playing with the Royal Gown, which is my good luck charm. And the timing won't start right away. Timing is actually going to start on the first movement with Merida.
So yeah, basically we get a cutscene here at the start where Merida's mom, who's transformed into a bear, that's part of the movie, runs off from the castle and Merida follows her. We don't know when in the movie that could play because that is not part of the movie.
Alright, so if everybody is ready for time, the timing will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. So right away, if you've seen the movie or if you've seen any trailers for this movie, you would know that Merida is known for her bow. Well, Merida does not have the bow at the very beginning of the game. We're actually going to be running forward to try and catch Mom to stop her from running and destroying the forest.
Yeah. Also, do listen to the voice lines. They are pretty good most of the time. Sometimes they're just hilarious. And I do love her Scottish accent.
Yeah, and the Brave movie is actually one of my guilty pleasure Disney movies. I absolutely...
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's a really good movie.
Yeah. So this is our first cutscene. We're just going to completely skip it. And then we're going to pick up the chest, but we don't have to get close to it. You can just mash the button and just pick up the sword from a distance.
Yeah.
So we're going to be using our sword, and we're going to be getting 250 coins here. I'm just going to be like jumping and hitting stuff right away, and then going away from it. I can still pick up coins from the distance. Then we have to destroy that wall, so we're just going to be getting some coins. Then I'm going to come over here. Anything that I can hit right away, just to save a little bit of time with coins later on. They'll help out, so there we go.
Also, did you realize that you are destroying plants and pottery for money, so you're basically Link?
I was going to comment on that. I'm like, taking inspiration from the Zelda series, I see.
Yes! So now we've got the bow. The bow is kind of iffy to work with, because while you can target with the right stick, it also auto-targets to enemies that are in about the same direction that you're pointing. And most of the time it's not going towards the enemy that you really want to shoot.
So now we're going into an unskippable cutscene, and most of the unskippable cutscenes in this game are just completely useless. Like, this is the cutscene. She just runs away, and you can't do anything during the cutscene.
Yeah.
So,
however, this cutscene unlocks the double jump ability, because we really couldn't do that before. It shows us, hey, you can double jump now. Yeah, we can also wall jump. Hello, Super Mario's. Mario 64. No, is it Super Mario 64? I'm not even sure anymore. But we do have wall jumps, because why wouldn't we?
Yeah. It's not a game if you can't, wall jump.
Yeah. Also, most games feel weird without a double jump nowadays. So
that is true, actually.
So, right now we're going to be going to the witch, and the witch is the one that originally, if you watch the movie, kind of turns Mom into a bear in the first place. So we're going to go back to the witch to see if she can turn Mom back into normal. But while we're here, she's going to give us a new ability with our bow, and that's going to be the Earth Charm. We're going to be getting 4 different charms throughout the game, and that's going to be Earth, Fire, Wind, and Ice.
Yeah, because we didn't have the budget for water. We had to go for ice. We're sorry.
At least we're not looking for heart. Because if we did all those plus heart, we'd have to be able to summon a non-Disney character.
Yeah, true.
All right. So what I need everybody to do, this is a completely useless cutscene and a useless character. There's going to be a crow that shows up on top of this rock. That's going to happen multiple times throughout the game. What I want everybody to do is to say caw in chat. Get ready for it. It's coming up. And caw.
I know that's not in chat, but, you know.
Yeah, that's going to come up multiple times, so you have more chances to do that.
Sweet.
All right, so we're almost at my 250, which is good. I'm at good money-wise. And then after this, I'm going to need to save up 400 or 700 gold. So I need to still collect more money after this because there's still more upgrades. We're not going to upgrade much. We're only going to upgrade, if I do it correctly, 3 times. If I don't get enough money, it's only going to be twice.
Yeah. So over the course of the game, until a specific point of the game, we need to collect a total of 5,000 coins. Optimally, we want 5,000. We can do with less, but the last upgrade kind of does help. So here we are fighting what I call the Blight Wolves, because it's the Blight that we're fighting, and these wolves are spawned by the Blight. Those are one hit no matter what you do, which is kind of nice. So they're easy kills, easy money. And here we now buy the first upgrade.
And this is kind of a big one too, because it's our fastest movement in the game. It is our dodge movement. Normally you would use it for dodge, but you can kind of tell what we're going to be using this for. We're going to be using this a lot. We're just going to be rolling really fast.
Yeah.
Then we go into our first triplets puzzle.
Oh yeah, the triplets puzzle. So these 3 bears are Merida's brothers, if you haven't seen the movies. And they help us with several puzzles. You switch between them in a fixed order, move them to platforms or flick levers or whatever. And in the end, they help Merida get forward. Get past some obstacles, open doors, or whatever they'll do. Whatever needs to be done.
So this statue is gonna kind of look familiar if you've ever seen the movie. That actually looks like Merida's dad. That sculpture there. And so those sculptures are actually really good for money wise. It gets you a ton of money.
Yeah.
So up here, we're going to be hitting these switches in a specific order, otherwise it will not open. So we're just going to start on the side here, roll over here, roll down here, then we're going to go through, we're going to grab ourselves the key, and then we're going to go over this way. Oh, one big thing that I forgot to mention about this game is it's basically glitchless. There's maybe 1 or 2 tricks throughout the entire game. Other than that, we're just going to be moving with movement-wise for this game.
And if you do glitch somewhere, it's unintended. So I glitched through the ground at some points, which definitely was unintended because I died doing that. So don't do that. But yeah, for the actual speedrun, this is glitchless, basically.
I mean, if you want to join the community and find glitches for me, please do, because I would love for this game to get more attention. Because, like I said, MOD and I are like the only 2 active runners of this game,
Yeah, and I'm only somewhat active because I just don't have too much time to invest in it. But it's a really fun game. It was fun to learn. And it's kind of fun to figure out how the heck Steve gets that time.
Yeah, just recently,
Because
as in,
So Steve's world record is like 12 to 15 minutes faster than my PB. And I have no clue how to save that much time.
yeah, in the time frame that I was practicing for this game, I managed to get an extra minute 14 seconds time save on this game for world record.
Wow. So when it comes to using the bow, is it just kind of like an auto aim, or do you actually have to figure out how to aim it properly? Because the angle here seems really interesting for some of that firing.
It is auto aiming to the enemy that is close to where you're aiming.
Okay.
So, yeah, you do use the right stick to shoot in the direction that you're pointing. But if there's an enemy somewhere around that area or another point of interest that you can shoot, then it auto aims to there. However, it prefers to aim at enemies instead of points of interest. So that can be kind of annoying, because if you want to skip those enemies and just shoot the point of interest to create a platform or something, then yeah, the game is mostly against you.
All right, so what you just saw there, you'll see multiple times. Besides of just controlling Merida and the triplets, you also get to control Mom, and you get to control a giant bear and destroy all the enemies. And that's actually where a lot of your time save or time loss will happen, is during those Mom fights, because they come out in the same order we think, but it doesn't matter if they just won't let them hit you.
Yeah.
Or if you can't hit them, I should say. Okay, so this is where I do a little bit different. So Merida is known for her bow, but I'm going to be using my sword for a lot of these fights because it seems to me like it attacks a little bit better. And I know where the last enemy is, which is right over there. And we are going to get our second ability, which is going to be the fire arrows.
Yeah. And so all of you who've seen the movie and say, hey, Merida never used a sword. Yes, she did, canonically. Just to cut the tapestry, but she did use a sword in the movie. So this is all canon.
I did not realize that, because I never thought about that for the sword.
Yeah, so when I ran this for a marathon myself, I did watch the movie before going to that marathon, just to make sure that my commentary for the movie is correct. And that's when I realized, oh yeah, she did use that sword there. So yeah.
So I did not have enough money to get the second upgrade there. That's fine. In the next level, I know one other place that I can go in order to get that upgrade. But now we're going into our next triplets puzzle.
There you are. Go to it, boys.
So when it comes to the acting for these games, since there's our voice lines, there's our actors, are they the same actors that were in the movie, or are they individuals who sound like the same actors?
I'm not 100% sure. I never checked with the credits, to be honest. But I think it's the same voice actress for Merida. At least she really sounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, really sounds like her. All right, so that jump I did at the very end right there is very important, because there is a little bit of a gap there, and you can fall down, and I have lost time to it multiple times. So I always say in my head, please jump. Okay, get all these coins. All right, coming up on one of our only skips in the game. I hope everybody's excited.
Let's do some pseudo out of bounds. It's not really out of bounds, but yeah, here the developers left some small platforms that we can jump off on. Oh,
If I can get it.
And off
There
on.
we go.
Come on. Okay, nice.
There we go. Jeez.
Nice.
That's still that still saves time, even though I
Yeah,
failed
it still
before.
saves time because otherwise you would have to fight the Blight Wolves, kill them all, and then climb the tower from the inside. So, yeah.
It's fine, whatever.
Mum and Dad used to walk me through this forest all the time. Oh, what I would give to do so again.
Wolves. So
Wolves.
the funny thing about those wolves is they can actually follow you into the water and just kill themselves by jumping into the water.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. All right, so now we're to the end of this first area. We just have all these enemies will spawn in the same spot. That's how I knew where to shoot all the stuff. And now we're getting the last enemy, which is right over here. And I'll be using the sword for him. And go in here and finish up. Do you want to explain what I'm doing in the middle of each level here?
Oh yeah. So, once you exit a stage, and you get back to the sub area, you can dodge roll towards the next gate and enter the gate before it officially unlocks. Skipping a small cutscene showing the gate unlocking. It's like what, 3-5 seconds or something. It's really hard to do. So I'm personally not good at it. Steve is way more consistent on that one.
Well, I also will forget which one I'm actually at sometimes and just roll to the wrong one.
Oh yeah, that happens to me all the time.
So this is where I'm going to be collecting my power-up that I missed before, but I'm going to do the extra loop because we have to come back by this way anyway. So on the second loop around, I'm going to get my power-up that I missed on the level previous.
Oh yeah, right. You should have gotten the power up on the previous one.
Yep. All right. So this whole time you've been seeing me fight enemies and birds. Well, there's a really an uninteresting line that Merida says coming up in just a second here, because we've seen a ton of birds already, but she gets excited about these white birds right here.
I mean, yeah, those are birds that don't want to kill her. Duh. I would be excited to see creatures that don't want to kill me.
I mean, in a world where everything's trying to kill you, yeah, I'd be pretty happy about that. Yeah.
All right, the boars. In my opinion, the worst enemy in the entire game.
Oh, no, not just your.
Okay.
I mean, these are the good boars. Later on, we get boars that slow you down. I hate those even more. But yeah, boars are the bane of our existence.
Literally slow you down. And when he says slow you down, they literally can slow you down.
Yeah, they literally slow down all of your movement, including your attack movement, by about 50%. So yeah, they're not fun, especially not in a speedrun, because losing 50% speed in a speedrun is bad.
Just a little bit.
All right, so I'm gonna go buy here really quick, and I'm gonna buy the power up that I missed in the last level. Won't waste that much time at all.
Yeah. So you saw Steve just skip a chest there. Most of those chests are not important. They're basically like new dresses for Merida or stuff like that, and we just don't need that. We will collect some chests for attack upgrades, but
we're actually going to be getting a chest coming up right now, which is a very important one, like super important.
As Steve just figured out during practice for this.
I tried to change the route in the middle of practice. Come to find out, it was slower routing. And that's the reason I do not route games.
Chat did help me, and that the voices of both Merida and the witch are the same as they are in the movie.
Oh,
Oh,
good to
wonderful.
know. All right,
Yeah,
here's
going
here's our
to
bow
this
upgrade.
chest to get a bow upgrade, making our bow stronger. That's what Steve skipped because it is like, you have to go off the optimal path for that, but you do need the bow often enough that this damage increase does matter. So you're losing more time not getting that bow upgrade than what you save by not going that extra route.
All right.
Okay, nice. Good amount of money that you got there.
Yep. We take that path because we have to go that way anyway, and those enemies you can literally just roll through. They're not that much of like a harm to us at all. So we just kind of jump around them, and they give us money anyway.
Yeah. So coming up, you see that that point of interest in the back, where there's an enemy spawning right in front of it.
Just have to try.
Even when the enemy would not have been right in front of it, the auto aim would lock onto the enemy rather than the point of interest, just to mess with us. So yeah. Another triplet puzzle. Hey, so we want to position the first triplet near the platform that we are lowering down, then lower down the platform, step on some buttons, walk through to flick some levers. Done.
Now the triplets puzzle will get more complicated, and then just all of a sudden drop off and get easy again. It's very weird.
It's something.
All right. So the extra thing that I got with that extra upgrade is you'll see down at the bottom of the screen, you will see a little ball of like purple there. That bar of purple actually is a power upgrade that you can get if you get enough, if you attack enough enemies.
Yeah, so that bar fills up when you deal damage and when you take damage. And when it's full, it will flash the, in this case, B button because Steve is playing on Xbox. So with that button, you can activate that power attack, and then you have a bit of time where you deal extra damage.
So since you're playing this on Xbox, I know, especially for a Disney Pixar game, it'll be on multiple platforms. Does that affect in any way, shape, or form how to play this game? So it's like, is it faster on Xbox versus like Nintendo? Or PC?
That's what we are not sure of. We're not sure if that involves with my faster time or not. We just don't understand why my time is so fast. Not even me.
Yeah. So for other games that Steve and I both run, where I run on PC and he runs on Xbox, even though my PC is a murder machine, his load times are better. Maybe it's in this game as well. I never timed that. I never checked that. But yeah, that might be one thing where this game is just faster on Xbox. I'm not even sure if it's on any Nintendo console. If it is, then I can tell you right now that it's gonna be slower on the Nintendo console. Sorry, Nintendo,
I
for
do
that.
know. I do know it's on the 3D. It's on the Nintendo DS. This game is on the Nintendo DS for sure. But
This exact game, then it's definitely slower. I'm sorry, the DS just does not have the computing power. But yeah. So we got the last charm, the ice charm. And now you see why it's ice and not water, because we need to freeze the water to create platforms.
Oh, by the way, there's one more skip in this game that we forgot to tell you about. There you go. We just did it.
We could just jump past the enemy here and not care about it. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, this is where Merida's auto aim is not the greatest.
Yeah. So if you want to shoot any of these platforms, and there's an enemy nearby, you will most likely hit the enemy instead of the platform.
That's why we kind of like go on all the platforms instead, where enemies are. That way we can just walk past them and it'll shoot all the platforms.
Yeah.
So right here, there's no need to go over here except to get these, and that's what I do. I go over there, get all the money, and then just skip past all the dogs so we don't have to fight them.
Yep. Also, we don't want to fight dogs, to be honest. They're too cute.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. Nothing beats the good puppers.
Yep. We will if we have to, but if we can avoid it, then yes, please.
Ooh, that was a good fight. I'll take that.
That was a really good fight.
And that's why you use the sword, MOD.
I mean, yeah, true. So one thing we haven't talked about is the streak that you can sometimes see in the bottom left. That counts up how many enemies you defeated without taking damage. And for every 3 defeated enemies without taking damage, up to a total of 15, you'll get an attack buff until you get hit and the streak is broken.
I want everybody to remember that puzzle, okay? Just remember it for the future.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, please do. So personally, I'm rather going for a streak than just going for the raw damage of the sword, because if you sword fight, you need to be closer and you get hit more often. So yeah, that's why I rather use the bow. Also, I do like bows better than swords. Period.
Well, I do too, but when it gets me faster and kills the enemies faster with the sword, I'm gonna be using it in here.
Nah, you can change my mind on that.
All right, we'll fast chat. Bows or swords?
All right, time for another triplets puzzle.
Yay!
One's
yeah,
kind
it's this one. In my casual playthrough of this game, I found a way to solve this that I think is a bit faster, but I never managed to recreate it. So what I did is this platform that the triplets were on, I had it diagonally pointed towards the lever that we need to flick, and then I just jumped over there. I never managed to do that jump after that first time. So yeah, I tried. I tried to contribute to the speedrun, but I didn't manage.
No, you have contributed to the speedrun. We will be getting to that later.
I mean, yeah, but I don't really see that as a contribution.
It's a major contribution. It saves plenty of time.
Well, yeah,
Hey,
just because your logic wasn't on point there.
What, following the main path? Following the main path wasn't on point. What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, if the main path is longer, then. But yeah, let's get there when we get there.
Yep.
First, so some more ice platforming, some more ice wolves that unfortunately we need to kill here.
All right, here is where we get into the fun wars.
No, not yet. No, it's not the fireballs that are bad, it's the ice balls that are bad. Because so with these fireballs, you saw when they charged you, they left a trail of fire. That fire hurts you. The ice balls leave a trail of ice, and as long as you touch that trail of ice, you are slowed by 50%. With everything you do. And that's the bad part. But we won't see those until the next ice stage.
So I think Merida has something to say after Mordu here destroys this, and I think she wants everybody to know. I think she wants everybody to know this.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So this won't be getting any easier now, will it?
No, I don't think it will, Merida. I really don't think so.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
so that's half of the cutscenes in this game are just completely useless like that. So
Yep.
Also, is it worth noting that the mom, the bear, had like swords in the back of it?
that was not the mom. That was actually okay. That's kind of an important thing to the story. So that is Mordew. Mordew is an ancient. What was it? An ancient beast? Would you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the first person to ever be turned into a bear.
Yeah.
And that's how the witch knew that it would help solve their problems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he was transformed into a bear long time ago, and he just went crazy because of it. Let's put it like that.
So this is my favorite fight in the entire game because you can kind of just stand in one spot and hit every single enemy in this entire area. It's such a fun fight.
Oh, but I thought the sword was faster than the bow.
Yeah, but did you see? I also got two of them while standing in one spot using the bow.
I know, which is why I used the bow instead of the sword.
Oops!
So
Come on, there though. Go ahead.
I was going to say earlier because we were talking about the bear, Murrow being, just kind of always being aggressive or getting kind of angry, getting mad about being a bear. Could you say that when he turned into a bear, he was probably unbearable about it?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
All right, now we come
better in my head.
Now we are going to come into the second worst enemies in the entire game. The gnomes.
Yeah, the imps, or I'm not sure if they're supposed to be mandrakes. I think they are because one of their attacks is a scream. Yeah.
But the worst thing about them is they run around really fast. If they touch you that way, you lose all your coins. But if they scream on you, you also lose all of your coins. Not all of your coins, but like you drop a ton of your coins.
Yeah.
It's not fun. And then they just randomly show up out of nowhere, like this.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
These are really one of the worst enemies ever. And the bad part is they appear all the time from now on.
All right, do not go up there, Steve.
Yep, do not go up there. I made that mistake many times. Do not go up there.
There's literally nothing up there. You just climb up there and fall off, and it just wastes the time.
Yeah. So hey, we've been here before. However, before we didn't have the key that we just collected, and now we can get through that magic barrier with that keystone.
We can roll from all the way over there and make that on there. I like to do it just for swag. It doesn't really save any time. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do things for fun,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Now we're heading
far, so
over
good.
to our next mom fight, which is up here. And this isn't the hardest mom fight is the next one, I believe.
Yeah. I think so.
So right here, right away, there's gonna be enemies that are spawned right around us. We're gonna slam down right away to kill like all of these that are around us.
Oh. But, I'm not gonna lie. When you went off and said, "Oh, here comes the next mom fight," or the next mom fight's gonna be harder, I was like, "Oh, we don't have to attack mom."
No, we do fight as mom, and I know it's kind of weird to refer to that as a mom fight when games like Binding of Isaac exist, where you literally do fight your mom. But no, here we do fight as our mom.
All right. So now we're gonna go up here, and we go right from a mom fight into a triplets puzzle. And this one actually kind of has a specific thing that you have to do in order to solve this.
Yes. So, what we need to do here is stop the waterfall, because for some reason Merida can't just jump through it. Okay, whatever. To do that, we need to pull back these barricades that are there, and we need to pull them back all the way. We need to make sure that they're pulled back all the way, because otherwise, the stone door or whatever that drops down can't make it all the way down.
Like if you're just off by just
it is wood. It is wooden, but yeah, if those pillars wouldn't have been drawn back all the way, if it's just a pixel, then yeah, the door doesn't close.
So that's the one that you have to take the most time, like just to make sure that you have everything correct.
Yeah, just take that extra half a second to make sure. Yes, you can't pull it back anymore, and then you're good.
I did see this in chat, and it's a good question. It's a simple question though. I guess we fight as Merida's mom, just claws.
No, not really. So we fight as Merida's mom in situations when so many enemies spawn that Merida herself would be overwhelmed. That's when her mom helps her out.
I guess it helps that when they spelled it it as CLAWS.
Oh, just okay. I did not get the pun there. Yes, of course. We do fight as mom, just claws. Yeah.
The puns are coming into chat.
You have the right
I do
person.
love myself a good pun.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you have the right two. You have the right two people.
Absolutely. So, most of the time when I do runs for any kind of marathon, I'm like, hey, give me some good puns, and try to distract me that way.
Someone else, they said barricades or barricades, and they, pun with the barricades.
Okay, so like we said, these imps or whatever they are just randomly like to show up for no reason whatsoever. They don't. There was no reason for them to join this fight.
Well, there is a reason, to annoy you. And I think that's a good reason.
That's not a good reason, though.
I mean,
I guess for game-wise,
no. You misunderstood. As long as it's to annoy Steve, it's a good reason.
Oh.
You know?
Oh, okay.
I knew exactly what he meant.
It was a very specific you that I was using.
There's a reason that I stick mod in with most of my commentary. Alright, so now we're actually coming into a boss fight.
Yes, we have boss fights in this game. Sometimes.
Oops. Oh, don't fall off, Merida. Okay, we're good. Please, Merida. Alright, so I think this fight mod actually follows what I set up to do here. Just go after this big boss, because all the enemies will be coming after you here. You just attack with the sword, and once you kill the boss, all the other enemies die.
Yep. Just face tank the boss. The other enemies charging you mostly
Get ready with Paw.
Oh yeah.
Get ready with Paw.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Get ready for another call.
Jat. You got it on the first time. Let's see if we can do it the second time.
And Caw.
So what I was saying, just face tank the boss. The other enemies charging into you mostly drop you enough health potions that you won't die.
Yeah, that's
Which
one
is-
thing on easy. On easy, they just drops health potions like crazy.
Yeah. So what I think is true. I never really tried it out, but I do think that enemies do drop health more frequently when you're low on health.
Mum was going to
Yes,
So-
yes.
every tree in here.
At least it feels like it.
I always depend on it when I'm low on health.
Yeah.
So if I just don't heal and it looks like I'm about to die, more than likely there's gonna be a boss fight coming up that or an enemy fight that's coming up that I'm dependent on.
Yeah. Which is where the bow comes in handy, because then you can kill the enemy from a distance and don't risk getting hit. So more
that
points for the bow, except for the instead of the sword. Bow is the better weapon.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So that was actually a pretty decent fight.
You saw that puzzle on the ground that looked familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Don't
gonna
do
say.
that. It's just for some. I think it's new garb. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I also still want you to remember that puzzle still.
Yeah.
That we told you to
still
remember.
remember it.
Okay,
It was not
okay.
the last time we saw it.
So now we're with the mama bear again.
Yes. And no, this is still not the worst mom fight. I forgot about this one.
I always do too. I get here and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, that
So,
was
the thing for me with speedrunning is I'm a really visual guy. I know what happens when I see it, and what I need to do. I'm not like, oh yeah, my memory tells me this is what's happening now, so this is what I will have to do. No, that's not how my mind works.
I don't know if this was a pun or not, and this is, if it's an actual question, but someone asked if there's a category for no Ursa major glitches.
No, there is no such category. But I do like the Ursa Major pun.
Okay, you have to let me. You have to let me do this cutscene. That's my favorite cutscene in the entire game. It's another completely worthless cutscene, but I just like the dialogue. I always like to talk with her. Murdu, you won't frighten me that easily. And we're done.
No. You have to do it properly. Mordu, you ain't frightened me that easily. You have to get the Scottish accent in there.
Roll your R's for reasons.
I'll let that stay with the guy who does a little bit of voice acting. Okay.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Oh, got it good. Okay, first try. There we go. Sometimes
Oh,
you
nice.
you can just fail that really hard in the you have to stand on both switches long enough for
For both doors to open up, but if you stay on one of them for too short a time, then the door closes before you get through it. So yeah. Also, we didn't really talk about those ring enemies. Those are portals spawning more enemies. So that's usually what we want to focus on first in such fights.
And if you have a sword, you can go after those first really easily.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's where I use swords as well. Because, as I said, the bow does not target the enemy you want to target. Ever.
It's just a back and forth here on what's more important, the sword or the bow.
The sword is definitely more important.
Maybe that's because both are important, but the bow is cooler.
Is the bow cooler because you have the ability to use ice arrows?
No. The bow's cooler because it's a bow.
All right.
Because the thing is, those elemental attacks work on the sword as well.
So I have to point this out. there's these next two sections, both this triplet puzzle and the next section, I actually found a trick for.
Oh yeah, this one is really nice.
Yeah.
This triplet puzzle is really nice because you cheese it so bad. So what the game wants you to do is use that ballista up there to shoot all 3 targets. However, what you can do is shoot the first target twice, just jump with proper timing, and then you're done.
I found that by accident. I found that by accident one time because I forgot the solution and just found that. And I was like, oh, that's a lot of time saved.
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of puns in chat. Keep them coming. But the one talking about whether or not the sword or the bow are good, someone said, I think they're both cool. With the pun being both.
Yeah, I just saw that myself, and I liked it. I liked it.
So what I found there, the trick that I found there is normally you would think that because this is a fighting section, you would have to go inside of the area, but in all reality, you can stand outside of the fighting section, and all the enemies will come to you, so you can just shoot them faster that way.
Yeah, the one thing is, at some point you do want to go into the room, just because all the money is despawning. So yeah, you want to go in there and get some of the money because we still need some more. As a matter of fact, I think it's next stage when we buy the next upgrade, and we want to be at 4,050 gold.
And I'm looking really good for that too. I should have enough. If
Yeah, that should work.
If I don't have enough, I'll just not get one of the small upgrades, which isn't that big of an issue.
Yeah. So the upgrades that we will buy are to speed up the power attack recharging. The first one is we buy all three upgrades for it charging faster when we hit enemies, and then we want to buy 2 times the upgrade for it to charge faster when we get hit. If we can afford the second one, it's not too bad, but we are missing out on a bit of DPS there. So, yeah.
All right, we're going into Murky Chasm. This is the worst level in the entire game, in my opinion. It might not be for MOD, but for me,
it is pretty bad. Just because of the start here, we want to shoot those points of interest for the platforms, and there are birds in the way. And remember what I said about the auto-aiming? Yes, it's bad. Other than that, the stage isn't too bad, in my opinion.
It is. The boss in here is miserable.
I'm not sure how you do the boss. I just face tank it and, skewer it with arrows. Because it's a fight where you use the bow, and the bow is good. So, but yeah, in this stage we have many birds as enemies. We need to kill the birds here in order to progress. Also, we have these lava platforms that we can extinguish, let's say, with our ice arrows. And
then I can have fun. I'm gonna take some damage and just roll through some fire here.
Yeah. So at some points we just roll through it because it's faster. Sometimes we need to extinguish the fire. So
now we're gonna go to where we actually have to extinguish some of the fire. But
yeah.
Other than that, she says the fun line. Oh, she didn't say it that time. Oh well, that's fine.
Oh.
She usually says, I've seen many volcanoes in movies, but I never thought I'd ever be in one.
But please wait.
I'm sure she's not talking about movies. I think she says in books.
Oh yeah, in books.
Because yeah. At the time of Merida, I don't think movies were a thing.
Right.
that would be weird.
But yeah, she's read about them in many books, but she never thought she'd find herself in one.
Yeah.
It could also be a time traveler. We did see portals earlier. Maybe taking a portal out to, other realms.
I mean, the consensus is that the witch is basically a time traveler, but I'm not gonna go into that one too much.
Oh, come on, you stupid. There we go. Okay. So this is where we're going to buy it. I did not get get enough money, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So as I said, we buy 3 times the upgrade that that we get more energy for the power attack when we hit enemies, and then just once the upgrade that when we get hit, that the power attack charges.
So now
It's
we don't
fine.
have to worry. We don't have to worry about money anymore. The rest of the game is just traveling through.
Yeah. So of course we could get more upgrades, but that just takes time and it isn't really worth it. Because in my opinion, we buy these upgrades specifically for the upcoming boss.
Oh, and remember that puzzle I wanted you to remember.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look here. Doesn't it seem familiar?
For some strange reason, the only puzzle that they wanted us to redo again is the easiest puzzle in the entire game.
Yeah. It is so weird.
There's no
Hey,
reason to redo that puzzle ever.
Hey, this
So
time you have to flick a lever after positioning those,
Yeah.
It's different. A bit. Yeah, no, I don't even try defending that.
This is a str-
Oh, that was good. Okay, get up here. Nice. Oh, you jerk. Okay, we're good.
So I guess, because people are in chat have been like, I didn't know there was a video game. I should have, but I didn't. What inspired you to kind of either get this game or play it? Did you just like walk into a store one day and be like, oh, look, a great video game?
No, I will tell you, and I love telling the story. It was a free game for the Xbox one year, and
Really?
it was a free game on the Xbox, so I just decided to play it then.
Oh,
Yeah, and for me it was like, hey, Steve is running this game of a movie that I really like. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if it's any fun. And yeah, it was.
I will admit, I see a lot of Disney. I put a lot of Disney on the bargain bin here. No actual reason other than the fact that I actually like Disney games. But like, yeah, they're really good. They have really good speedrun tactics to them as well.
Most of them.
Yeah, okay, most of them.
Most of them. So Steve does run another. Is it a Disney Pixar game or is Bolt just Pixar? I'm not sure right now. I think it's Disney Pixar, right?
Well, I've also been on here before for Toy Story.
I mean, yeah, but that's Pixar.
Oh, true.
I'm not sure for Bolt. Is it Disney Pixar or is it just Pixar?
I think it was just Pixar. Bolt was just Pixar. I also want
because
to.
that is one of the games that I tried and I just didn't like.
I also
that
want
Steve is running.
to. I also want to learn Chicken Little. That's another one that I really want to learn.
Okay, yeah.
I like to run very obscure speed games. If you haven't been able to tell yet, but I really like. I like really obscure speed runs, and Disney just happens to have all the fun ones.
That is true, yeah.
All right, here we go. This is what the boss I dread going to.
Yeah. So,
I'm
what I
going to
do for
focus
this
on
boss?
this. I'm going to focus on this while MOD explains it.
Yeah. So, we've seen a few birds in the past stages. Here's a big bird. And
big bird.
this bird, he spawns other birds. He spawns those imps. It's really annoying. What we do is just we pepper it with arrows, do the power attack whenever it's available to get more damage out of our arrows. What I do is I just stand at the very edge of the platform and pepper him with arrows, because then most of the other birds are not anywhere near me, and those that are mostly drop me potions to keep me healthy.
Oh, that was a really good fight. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, you did fight the bird about how I would fight it. You weren't as close to the edge as I'm usually standing.
Let's get ready for another caw, everybody.
Oh yeah,
All right.
but let's caw.
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 Nevermore. No? Okay. All right.
All right, now we're coming up on the level where MOD actually did find a really good time-saving trick.
I still don't think it's a time-saving trick. I still say whoever came up with the route before just completely overlooked the obvious.
Yeah, that would be me.
These ships are so cute.
Case in point.
Exactly. That's why I say I'm never a router for games. If you want me to route a game, you're not gonna have a good route at all. All right, so instead of following every single thing that's right there, let's just take a side path over this way.
Yeah, let's just hop the short way in the opposite direction of where the platforms are going, instead of going the long way around in the direction of the platforms.
Oops.
It's kind of obvious in my opinion, but hey, that's just me. Yeah,
What am I doing?
Basically, how I found this quote unquote is I came there. I could not remember what I saw Steve doing in his run, from what I've seen, but I saw where I need to go. So yeah, I figured out a way to get there, and apparently it was a faster way.
It's always interesting when you have that type of community, and you or someone just comes in and it's like, "Hey, I'm new to speedrunning, but have you tried this?" And then everyone goes, "Oh, why didn't we see that before?"
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
just
now
operational blindness, in my opinion. We've done this all the time, so we didn't even think of anything else.
Right? Yeah.
she also didn't say another one of my favorite lines, which is, "I'm tired of jumping on all this ice."
Yeah. Right. You didn't. Oh.
Does that
All
mean
right.
Does that mean this is iceless?
No. If you can find a way, if you can find a way to skip this part, I would greatly appreciate it. 'Cause
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is basically
Welcome
the
to the one
auto-scroller.
auto-scroller in the game.
Yep, the one auto scroller of the game.
Well, one of two. There's basically one in the final stage.
In a way, I guess.
In a way, yeah. So yeah, here we need to shoot these icebergs so that we can pass through them, basically. All the while, there are enemies spawning on our platform. Aren't they the best?
Okay, now this should be the last one, so I'm just gonna worry about this one wolf, because otherwise the other wolves will spawn. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a couple of the will-o-wisps to actually come in right now, so I can attack a little bit stronger. Okay, I got a couple. We're good. What? That sucked. I didn't change over my spell.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were doing there.
Oh, I thought I had changed over.
Oh, and here are the ice boars. So you see those those blue streaks after they're charging. Yes, you don't want to stand in them ever.
So I did see a question in chat in terms of like maybe a different strat if possible, and that's are you all able to double jump and roll without touching the ground?
No.
No.
You need to stand on solid ground in order to initiate a dodge.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. We'll take that.
Oh, I never had that. That there were those ice streaks on the floor when the platform starts moving. And
Oh, really? I get that all the time.
never.
Oh.
I just killed those last boss too fast, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, that looks wild. Or I just never noticed. Might be because my mind is somewhere else.
all right. This is it. This is getting close to the last mom fight. There will be, I think, one more,
2.
and there is 2 more. Okay.
I think there's 2 in the final stage, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember. I just know once I get there that there's one there. Come on, you stupid dog. There we go.
That wasn't a dog. We don't harm the dogs in this game.
I mean, it wasn't us, it was Mom, so...
Oh, that's true.
That's true. Yeah. It was a lion disguised as the dog. How about that?
Okay, now we're coming up on another triplets puzzle, but this is the longest one in the entire game.
Yeah, so what we need to do here is shoot each of the targets with an arrow, and that creates platforms to just jump over. If you position your arrow perfectly in the middle between the targets, you can get away with just shooting 2 of them, but it's really hard to get the positioning right.
There we go. All right. So this should be it if I actually make this jump. There we go. Okay. You can fall very easily on that last last arrow. Now we have a long, drawn-out boss fight here.
Yeah, well, we say boss fight. It's basically just an arena with so many little mobs spawning. It's crazy. But yeah, the one thing we want to do is get those boars out of the arena as quickly as possible, just to not have to deal with their slowdown effects.
Come on. That was good. We'll take
Nice.
that.
Very nice.
Get out of here. Oh, you stupid boars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, not only do they have that slowdown effect, if they do hit you, you're knocked to the ground. So more time lost there if that happens.
Yeah.
To find a potion for my health.
All right, now we're heading into the final area of the game.
The final stage.
Nice. Someone in chat said, "Let's see how this run bears out."
Oh, come on. How about it bears out like this?
Oh,
I think she has something to say to Mardu.
You've not defeated me, Mordu. Just a bit farther and I'll have ended your curse once
Thank you,
and for
Merida.
all.
So now we have a lot of putting out fires and hitting switches in this final section. But not only that, we're actually going to get one last upgrade in this. Two last upgrades in this game.
Yeah.
But not through buying them again. We're actually going to be finding some.
We're finding us a sword and a bow.
Whoa! I've never landed on that before. Didn't even know
That
you could do
happened
that.
to me at some point.
All right, we're gonna get this chest.
Yeah, this sword we just take with us because it's right next to a button we need to press anyway. So yeah, it's not really that far off.
Plus, it's actually a strong sword.
Yes, it is.
So now we're gonna go up here, get the next switch. We have to hit these switches. Well, I don't think you have to hit them in order, but you still have to hit all of them in order to get to the next section.
Yeah. So you do have to hit both of those for those extra platforms to appear. Otherwise, you couldn't make it through here.
All right, so now we're gonna go to the back area over here and get this first. We just want to get rid of all the portals. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and this plant portal is what spawns imps, so we want to get rid of that one as quickly as possible. Because we hate imps more than the boars.
Okay, you can please stop chasing after me. That would be awesome. Now we're just gonna stand right in this section right here and just shoot all the enemies and spawn into the last Trippets puzzle of the entire game.
Yeah.
And you would think, well, this is the last one. It's going to be complicated. No.
No, it's not.
This is the one of the easiest puzzles in the entire game.
Yeah, it's really straightforward.
Yeah, we're just going to make everybody climb up here and then pull this up, jump over, and pull up the last one, and we are done with the puzzle.
Yeah, you're basically really moving them in the order in which you switch around through them, so no trouble at all.
I always enjoy games that decide
I'm
that
very grateful for
everything,
all
like
you've
at
done,
the very end, is when a lot of easy puzzles
Promise me
happen.
you'll be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an evil
Also, promise me you'll be careful. There's an evil in this place.
And if you've seen the movie before, you know that it doesn't really matter for the triplets because they're the troublemakers themselves and they can handle themselves
Yeah,
just fine.
absolutely.
All right, so I get rid of all these guys, so it's a little bit easier for me to get the final bow of the game.
Yeah, I hate this puzzle. It's always tripping me up because for some reason one of the bow shots hits the wrong target and then I'm all out of then I need to figure out, okay, how to get to where I need to go with that one. This is my most hated fight arena.
Oh, really? That was fun.
Yeah. I mean, the start is fun, yeah, where they're all the same element, but as soon as those golems start spawning with different elements, they're not as fun anymore.
Oh.
So yeah, this is the one fight arena where I wish we would fight as Mom, because there are enough enemies around for her to help us out. But no, she doesn't. Because why would she? You know? She's like, nah, I'm gonna help you later. You gotta wait a bit for me.
All right, everybody, get ready for your last set of caws. This is the final time you can caw.
Final call.
The final call down.
So make it a
I
good
just
one.
wanted to make that joke myself.
All right, here we go. Caw!
Caw.
Caw. Nevermore. For the second time.
And then we have This is the final one, I think. So there is only one in this final level.
It is. What was the level with the 2-mum fight?
I don't
didn't
know.
even realize that you already had a stage with 2-mum fight. Well, whatever. Yeah, this is the final mum fight.
And it's the most fun, in my opinion. I love this one.
It is. So, when I first started speedrunning this, I thought I found a good way to make this quick, but then I figured out, nope, it just doesn't, it's just not consistent. So what I was doing first is, okay, clear all the enemies clockwise, then turn around and clear and just run counterclockwise, and they'll all die instantly, basically. Kind of, but not as consistently as I would have liked it to be. So
that was almost a perfect fight right there. That's exactly how you want that fight to go.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
All right, now we're okay. Oh, this is the auto scroller you're talking about. Okay.
Yes, this is the last auto scroller.
Okay, I didn't know what one you were talking about, and then as I was going into here, that's when I realized.
Yeah, because you know what is an action platformer without an elevator?
Yeah, that's true.
So this next area, when MOD was first learning this game, he's like, "How do you do this next section here, Steve?" I said, "I stand in one spot and all the enemies run towards me." So I'm just going to be standing here, and these enemies literally run towards you. And if you get hit, they're more than likely going to drop a potion for you.
No, I was more like, do you just melee them or do you bow them? Because I couldn't see that with all the explosions.
It's also really nice to be like, hey, sorry I hit you. Did not mean to hit you. Here's a potion to, here's a band-aid, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sorry I stabbed you.
All right, so I'm going to be standing over here. I used to stand in the center and shoot this section, but it's easier because I can kill this one really fast. And that made it a lot faster. I found that recently, that standing there instead of going into the center makes it a lot faster.
Yeah, that's a good one. That definitely is a good one.
Wow, that was actually really fast. Holy hell. All right, so now we're going to do, if you can consider this a skip.
It is proper positioning to get off faster. So, he's standing on that fence to be able to jump up there a little faster than if he would be lower down. But yeah,
so
saves like a second.
So we've been chasing after Mordu this entire game. So you would think, oh, good, we get to fight Mordu for the final fight. No.
Nah, Mordu's like, hey, why don't you fight my friends instead? Or
so he's
his minions or
sense.
Whatever.
So he's gonna summon all of his enemies on you, and the first one I'm gonna do right here is I found out something a little bit about this guy. If you just attack his butt, well, now I'm kind of screwed. But if you attack his butt, he just runs around in circles like this.
Yeah, that's true.
And he doesn't do anything, and it's lovely.
Yeah. However, that ice spore kind of screwed you up there.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why we hate ice spores.
All right. Speaking of ice spores, it's not an ice spore, but it is a boar.
It is a boar, and it's a big boy.
Yeah. This is the best chance in quotations for me to die is right here. On this boar, this fire boar right here is the worst enemy in the entire game. Oh, he's playing nice. He's playing nice right now.
Oh yeah, he's playing really nice.
Knows you're on the VDQ stage, and it's like, nah, I'm gonna give you a pass.
So, for me, it's really the last phase that kills me the most, just because I usually enter it with not much health, and yeah.
And I also found out that the final phase is actually RNG, where the enemies spawn in.
Yes, it is. It is. The final phase is definitely RNG, where the enemies spawn and what kind of enemies spawn. So.
But you know that bird enemy I don't like?
Yeah, let's have him again.
Oh no.
But now with cracked ground, because why not? However, this one does not spawn any imps. He's just spawning little birds. So that's at least a bit better, I think.
No, it's not.
Oh, no.
It's terrible. I hate this boss. I hate this boss. I hate this boss. I hate this boss. I will never ever like this boss. I will never like this boss. We're good. We're good now. We got some help.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, usually I go out of this fight with a rather with not so much health. Let's say, because this boss is not the best, absolutely, and that's what usually kills me in the next.
All right, now let's
phase.
let's hope for good RNG coming into this last one.
Yeah,
I
let's
believe.
see.
I do too. Oh, let's go.
Now, chat. There's no coin here.
All right, so the timing, if I get this correctly, the timing will come the second that I destroy the final tablet.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
this is pretty decent.
I mean, I do hate those birds there, but it's fine.
It's usually the big guys that kill me there. As long as I didn't get the big guys. Okay, I've been holding this in. Oops. Well, 1 second. Maybe.
Oh.
I've been holding this in the entire game, but this is a world record run.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yep,
what?
this is a world record run.
Oh, right.
wow.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Holy. Nice.
So, timing is coming up the second that this tablet is destroyed. In 3, 2, 1, time.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So
Well done.
that was a 1:14:48. That was
Wow.
another 30-second world record.
Wow. Wow, Steve. That's amazing.
So yeah, that was Disney Pixar Brave. If you enjoyed watching that run, please join the community. Please try and find some skips for this game. Please play it casually. It's super fun.
Please
and-
find out how Steve can be so fast.
Yeah, so yeah, this game is actually super fun. Like, you wouldn't expect a Disney game to be something like this, and it's a lot of fun to play just casually.
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
A lot like you'll see extras in here. You can collect concept art, and a lot of the concept art is like from the movie, and some concept art from the game. There's more stuff to collect besides just bows and swords.
Usually before I start speedrunning a game, I want to play it casually once to figure out if it's fun for me. And this is really fun casually as well. So even if you don't want to get into speedrunning it, just check it out, play it casually, and then you want to speedrun it because it's just that fun.
So you can find me on Steve TV Online on any social, on my Twitch, on everything. Right now, I'm learning a new speed game every single month. This is the second time I've done that. I speedrun over 40 different games. I'm casually playing through all the Assassin's Creed games right now as well. And I have other marathons coming up and other obscure games. Do you have anything? Where can they find you, MOD?
Well, you can find me on Twitch at MOD366, on Twitter _MOD366. Most of my streams are casual playthroughs of stuff, mostly in German, but I do occasionally stream just in English. All my speedrunning is just in English. So yeah, if you want to drop by, I always put into my title what languages I'll be streaming in.
All right. Well, if you have any other shout outs, Any other advice if people wanted to check out this game, where they could go to get advice, tutorials, things along those lines?
There is no tutorial. We don't have a Discord, unfortunately, but if you want to be involved with this game, contact me anywhere, Discord, Twitch, Twitter, any place, and I will absolutely help you out with this game. Because if you want to find glitches for this, if you have another route that you think would be good, because right now, with me keep on getting these times, I would love to have a little bit of competition.
Wow, Steve! Wow. But yeah, also here, if you can't get a hold of Steve for some reason, I'm also happy to help out with any questions or whatever. So just hit me up on Discord or wherever you want to find me.
All right. Well, thank you both for showcasing that amazing game. Congrats on the world record.
Thank you.
And do not forget that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Game Zone Quick Hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speed running content. Now, while the Bargain Bin may be closing its doors for tonight, do not forget we are not done here on Game Zone Quick. Coming up here at the top of the hour, Tiny Tree Fort. We got some great games coming up for you on that one. While we get all that set up, we're going to take a small little break. This is a great time to get up, hydrate yourself, get some water, get some popcorn, some snacks, get a little cozy while we get everything set up here for Tiny Tree Fort. And we will see you all later here at the Bargain Bin, but we'll continue on going here on GDQ with Tiny Tree Fort. Stay tuned.